Hello, MOBO Lowdown in Lockdown. We are here. I can see Big Zuu already. Let's jump straight in. Straight in. Lowdown in Lockdown. Where is he? He's coming in. He's coming in. He's coming in.
Yo!
Hey, yo!
Wham.
If I could stand up, I'll give you a round of applause, fam. I'll give you a round of applause. Absolutely killing it, my bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. What are you telling me, man?
Nothing much, nothing much. I can't lie. I didn't want to watch that freestyle. I know you're going to that now.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It had to be done.
No, it had to be done. Was you at the game?
I just uploaded a picture that made it look like I was there.
Yeah, I was about to say. Getting that excuse. How do you feel about the title and that? How does it feel as a Liverpool fan?
I'm gassed. Obviously, everyone's trying to say they need to put asterisks, all of this talk. I'm not taking the asterisk talk.
Yeah.
Yeah? We won it. That's it.
Fair
Man, stop trying to declout our thing, you know? Come on. We did put in the work, and you know, I get it. It's not the right circumstances, but at the same time, I think, you know, these lot are professionals. I think we all, if you follow football, obviously we're not here to do bare football talk, but if you follow football, you would have known that Liverpool have won it already. You know?
Facts. And before we get into the conversation, let me even give you a proper introduction. On the live MOBO Lowdown in Lockdown, we have a living legend, artist, TV presenter, personality, a chef. I don't even know what other words to describe this guy, man. Just honestly, this is probably the first time we're talking, but your energy is so correct in all the interactions we've had. Big Zuu, everyone, drop your comments.
You don't know.
What's going on, man? How's lockdown?
It's all right, bro. I've been getting on with it. I've been working. I've been getting it on. Just not slowing down, bro. You know, we keep going.
I keep asking everyone, what was the original plan if we wasn't in lockdown?
Oh, shows. I think that's the main thing that hasn't been going on. Apart from that, we've been getting on with it. You know, I've been working. I've been getting stuff done. Yesterday, I filmed like a quiz show.
Is it
like celebrity quiz show? That was my first proper panel show kind of thing, and they were doing it in obviously in COVID, kind of like social distant rules.
Yeah.
And just filming that, it felt crazy. I was with a couple of people that are big in the entertainment industry, and it was a bit surreal for me. Obviously, I was just going on with it like I've been there 100 times.
Yeah.
These are some pros, so I was just there yeah, man, just getting on with it. And two things it showed me is that the work's happy run.
Yeah.
Because these had a big studio crew that were getting on with it.
Yeah.
And also that I think I just got to be ready for anything that happens in this industry. I mean, you know, where man come from, the kind of music man represent, you're not supposed to see me on these television programs, but they're trying to diversify. They're trying to diversify and have new people, and I think it's getting there, man. We're getting there.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm very happy that it's you, man. Perfect representer. I've been watching the show as well. How did the show even come about?
Well, I was always making food and stuff on my Snap.
Yeah, okay.
And a production company, literally, they saw it and they were like, "Yo, let's make a program," and came up with the idea. Big Eats, cook for comedians, all that kind of jazz, and it eventually developed and got commissioned. 10 episodes. We filmed the whole thing, and now it airs every day. And we got the next episode is tonight with London Hughes. 10 p.m. on Dave. So yeah, we're 6 episodes deep. This is the 7th episode. So we're almost done. Three more, and we're done.
And then you're done for the season. You know what? We're going to talk about the show even more, but I wanted people to get to know you more in terms of where you're coming from, the upbringing. You're half Sierra Leonean, right? Yeah,
half Sierra Leonean.
Howdy, buddy.
Anybody final?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Where you from?
I'm from Ghana, but I've been to Sierra Leone still.
Okay. So you know the areas. I know the
areas, fam. I'm there, man. Yeah. My best friend's from Sierra Leone, so I want a few.
Okay.
So these free guys time. That I'm even talking to. Yeah.
Free time.
Yeah. So you grew up in West, though?
Grew up in West London.
What's the experience of West London? What was it like for you?
We're slept on. Obviously, everyone thinks that we don't do nothing. Everyone likes to diss West London, say that we're bougie and that. where I grew up off the high road, and just multicultural place, different kind of upbringings, different people, different places. Being very close to Central kind of always gave me that level of understanding that we have more to aspire to. Like there was that juxtaposition of growing up in the ends, but round the corner houses are 2.3 milli. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it kind of gave man an understanding that we're worth more than just a tower block and going to the chicken shop, which is not forced upon you if you grow up in these areas, but it's kind of like it's what you align yourself with is what you become, innit? We're saying Kurt's feeling that word, juxtaposition. I'm trying to run Kurt. But he didn't know I can use them kind of words there. He didn't know I can use them kind of words there. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like growing up in West, you know, it's you got Kensington and Chelsea, you got Chelsea and Westminster, you got Westminster. You know, these kind of places that are some of the most affluent areas in Europe. So growing up there and still saying you're from the ends, I understand why people say West is bougie and West is this, but where man grew up, it was definitely not bougie. So, you know.
Did you travel out of the ends often? Like, how did you get your world view? Or was it because literally Central's on your doorstep?
Well, before I settled in West, I kind of lived all over the gap. So all over the gap. I used to live in Peckham, Battersea, spent some time in Finchley.
Yeah.
One place I never ventured to is East, but
okay.
I've lived in a lot of places, so I was able to I got friends from all over the gaff. And then going secondary school, kind of branched out when I went college, and obviously doing music.
Yeah.
Kind of been able to meet a lot of people, and obviously I've been lucky enough to do shows all over the UK, and I think getting into music and doing shows kind of taught me a lot about where I'm from, because you know, we kind of have this London-centric view that the UK is London, you know? But when you get to go to places like Bristol and Leicester, Coventry, Birmingham, Manchester, all the way up to Glasgow, Edinburgh, going to Ireland, you know, Northern Ireland, it kind of gives you like a overall understanding of where you're from and what the UK represents. And I've been lucky enough to kind of like take in all this culture from where we're from, and kind of use that to influence the person I am today.
No, 100%. Like growing up, I got to travel a lot around the UK as well, so I've always understood that London is its own bubble. But I lived at uni for 4 years, and that's when I realized, like, England. I understand why England is the way it is, because it's not like the whole of England's not like London. You know what I mean?
It's not.
Not at all.
But you got to get out there to see it. Where did you go uni?
Exactly. Leeds. So I spent 4 years in Leeds. And
Leeds is bad.
Yeah. So
Leeds
is not
bad,
even as bad as some of the other places. Do you know what I mean? 100%. In terms of contrast.
But you know what it is? I think one thing that you do learn about when you go around is that a lot of places there are places that are like very similar to London. They have their own vibe, but the kind of culture and the way that the vibes go is the same as London. It's just the accessibility to opportunities and diversity and kind of different kind of motions. You know, London, especially working in the creative industry, there's something going on every single night in London. Whereas if you go to different places across the UK, it's not that popping, isn't it?
Not like that. Nah, for real. You said you hadn't lived in East, but was youth work in East? Yeah,
I did youth work in a school called Haggerston.
Okay.
Haggerston. Big up Chilling It. My brother Chilling It all the way from Australia, man. Big up him, man. Big up him, man. So I've seen him, man.
How does that come into your journey then, youth work?
Well, when I was in college, I didn't get a lot of A-levels. I actually got kicked out of, so you know when you do your 4 A-levels, then you take away one. So you do one and as an AS. Yeah. I was doing my 3 last A-levels in my last year of sixth form, and I got kicked out of one of them. So I was only going to do 2.
Oh, for real?
So my UCAS points were looking very dire. It was looking like I couldn't get into any unis. So I took a gap year and volunteered to work in a charity called City Year. Yeah. And what they did was place people into working into different types of secondary schools and primary schools. I worked in Haggerston, and that's in East London, right in Hoxton, Haggerston, and yeah, that kind of taught me a lot about working with young people and the aspirations of young people, and kind of like learning about social science and community. And it was from then that I got into uni.
What did you learn about young people from working with young people?
I think the disparity in terms of our aspirations, bro.
Yeah.
I think learning kind of like what's forced upon us in terms of what people expect of us, determined by your race or your class. I think these are very important things, and they all build from school. You know, they all build from what you're aligned with in school. So if your teachers are constantly telling you you're going to become something, you know, teachers telling you you're going to become something big when you're older, or you got the powers to become something great, you will see that kind of formulate within a young person. Whereas if a young person is consistently like put down, downgraded to be told that they're not going to become anything, you will see how that will aspire into the unless they obviously it kind of goes into like sociology in terms of if the self-fulfilling prophecy, whether you live up to what the labels that are put upon you, or if you negate away from them. So I've been able to see kind of like the young people that went to the place that I worked in, and what they've become in their further life now. And it's funny seeing the kids that were consistently told they're not going to become anything, grow up and become better than what anyone thought it would be. And then it's sad seeing the kids that were put down going down a route that isn't of, you know?
Facts, man. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this. Like, I'm from Dagenham, and Barking and Dagenham has a bad rep in terms of how affluent the borough is and stuff like that. But even some of the community members don't even know what's out there for them. So I remember when I was going to uni, my next door neighbour was like shocked and asked my mum like, "Oh, what, can her son go uni as well?" Like, and she's been in Dagenham her whole life. Do you know what I mean? So some people are not fortunate enough to know what's out there, if that makes sense. That's why I asked, like, how was it going to so many different places around London that opened up the mind, sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, it's that closed-minded kind of like aspect of growing up in inner city London is something that's forced upon us. It's not something that we adopt, you know. The world is so massive, but if you're not given the keys and tools to be able to like spread your wings and go to different places and kind of like align yourself with these different positive things, it's going to be hard to expect more from yourself. You know?
Facts. One of the things we do have in abundance in terms of inspiration as well is music. And music found you found music as well. What was your journey into music? And then how did you become an artist like that?
Well, more time, man, was just in the blocks with the man them doing nothing. Chilling, bored. Man needs to put on beats and just start freestyling as a joke. It was literally just banter. Like, man needs to just freestyle for banter. And then one day, one of my brothers called Ali, he was like, "Yo, you should start writing bars." And I was like, "Oh, allow it, man." About, what do you mean writing bars? And then, man started writing, getting into it, and it just went from there. I kind of was writing, but this was like when I was 16, 17. Kept writing, started going to studio, youth clubs, recording, just learning the craft a bit more. And then man got my first invitation to go to spit on radio.
Where was that?
Which was Deja Vu.
That was Deja. Okay.
In East. Got to go to Deja, and from there I ain't looked back, bro.
You haven't looked back. Are you with the same people that you started with?
Yeah. So the first set I ever went to was with Tracey.
Yeah.
Obviously that's the family. So me and AJ were family, and like I still see him all the time, and I'm still making music. The brothers that I went, like Wax, the brother that we used to go to his studio to record when I was younger. We literally dropped a track today. I'm on his remix today. We dropped a track today. So there's like the family ties are still there. The family ties, they ain't gone nowhere. Like MTP, that was the crew that we kind of made when we was younger.
That's the crew,
and we're still together. It's mad. Like obviously, man, them are on different things. Tracy's doing this thing, Wax is doing this thing, D's over there, X is over there. I'm doing my little thing over here. So, but it's sick when we all come together. We always reminisce on like the times and how far we've come. You know.
No facts.
You know what I'm
And MTP definitely, you know, in that sort of 2015, 2016 period.
Yeah.
When we saw that boost again, MTP were definitely one of my favorite sets to watch.
Thank you.
Like the Rinse ones, I watched so many. I feel like I don't know if you guys have been in full on Radar, but I've definitely seen you and Tracey. Yeah. Did you guys do sets on Radar?
Yeah. We've done. We did a lot of sets, man. We've been all over. Like it feels like it's a long time ago now. You know, 2020. Like the way the music game has progressed and the way things have gone, it feels like it's a long time ago. But like 3-4 years ago, you would have caught us on every set. Exactly. Every night we would have been on radio, bro. At least one of us.
That is so sick, man. And of course, I can't not talk to you without talking about grime music.
For sure.
Everyone has an opinion on grime. Where do you
trust me?
With everyone has an opinion on grime. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we've seen that infamous interview with you and H and Trace, which I think was good for the scene. It was healthy.
Yeah.
To open up the conversation. That conversation was being had behind closed doors, and that interview kind of opened it and highlighted it to, I think, the whole of the UK to create a conversation. Now, grime has been said that it's dead. How many times? People have been saying grime's dead from when grime was made. From 2002, man have been saying grime's dead. You know, the genre's been here for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think I'm proof of someone that is alive from grime. You know what I'm saying?
I think almost everyone is slyly. Do you know what I mean? In the music industry,
but
a way.
They don't want to admit that. Let's put it like that, innit? Like, at the end of the day, it's like man saying we owe a lot to garage. Not a lot of people want to admit that or we owe a lot to two-step. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's one of the things where it's easy to forget where your past is because you're so focused on going forward. Because we're so focused on moving forward, people don't want to pay homage to what's going on back in the day. Now, because drill and rap is so big right now, it's what forces people to have this conversation about grime is dead. Because grime was one of the main art forms in terms of rap, in terms of hip hop in this country. Now, when you've got a sound that's crossing over to the UK, to America, you know, you just have to listen to Pop Smoke's new album to hear the influence of UK music in there. That is a direct influence from grime. But it doesn't mean that grime's dead because he's not spitting on a grime beat. Because he's not spitting on a Wiley Esky Beats beat doesn't mean that grime's dead. It just means that rap's doing his thing right now. Do you understand? 100%. I just put out a freestyle with BBC that got played on Match of the Day with Sir Spyro. It was grime, 140 BPM. Does that mean grime's alive now? Because I've done a Liverpool freestyle. It don't mean that grime's alive. It just means that we're all doing our thing in our own little pocket. Do you understand? It's like Ill Blue. They put out that garage thing, with M24 and them.
24 and Unknown T,
and that song bangs. Does that mean garage is alive now? You know, garage never died. It's just people doing different things. Like I don't know, by Tion Wayne, Ducks and Storms. One of the biggest records now. That's a drilly kind of record, you know what I'm trying to say? But Storms is a grime MC. So it's like all these genres and names and labels, they get confused in the mix, and man forget what the main thing is that young black brothers are making music and it's popping.
100.
So let's not try put each other down. Let's just raise each other up.
Facts.
Let's just appreciate each other for the fact that we're here and that man are doing things and securing the bag.
No, 100%.
And that's why I respect your thing, because you play everything. You understand? Don't get me wrong. There's certain music that you have to play because you have to play what's popping.
Exactly.
But there's times I know you'll draw for something. It might not be the main thing that's popping in the scene right now, and you'll still play it because you 100%. Believe in it. And I think that's what the game has to understand, is that of course there's music that's popping. There can't be the biggest record in the world and I'm not gonna play it if I'm a DJ, or if I'm in the rave with my brethren, or if I'm in the yard. You're gonna play what's popping, because it's popping for a reason, because people like it. But we gotta be able to not be sheep and be able to say, you know what, I like this because I like it, not because everyone's saying it. You understand?
100%. And it's very interesting because I feel like in the past, say like 3 years, we've had such an influx of new fans. So how H can get to that point to say that, it could be the influx of new fans that don't know the history of where we've come from to get to this music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, like, I even see my position, like, I grew up on grime music. Like, I wouldn't be in my job, which plays all music, if it wasn't for grime, if that makes sense. So I can understand why so much people were upset by what he said, but I also understand what he's saying as well. Because, like, when you go to these shows now, it's a different audience sort of thing.
Of course. And that's the thing. I think, like you said, that's it in a nutshell. I just think, obviously, the comment was that people under 20 don't listen to grime. Most of my fans are young, you know? I've put out a TV program on Dave, and most of the viewers that are watching it are young youths. They're either 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and they're from all over the UK. They're black, white, Asian, purple. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things where we can't confuse what's popping with what the youths rate.
Yeah.
You know? The youths rate things. Don't get me wrong. And normally what the youths rate is what becomes popping.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can't confuse with what's popping with what the youths rate, because there's youths that are chilling in Bristol that only listen to grime. There's youths that are in Manchester that only listen to hip hop. There's probably some brothers in Norwich that only listen to house music. You understand? We can't kind of like put a cap on things and say, rah, only this kind of brother. And don't get me wrong, H is my brother. I got a lot of love for H, and H knows that I've spoken on this from when this interview came out, because it was a big topic. And I think with H, he's someone that came up off grime set, someone that came up off radio, all these things. And I just think what we need to be careful of is when we speak about other people's art, is to not put it down. And and I think what's happened with grime and drill is that people have made it like a little war between them, when really they're both synonymous about the same thing. Exactly. They're both about getting out the hood. They're both talking about the struggles that man came up with. They're both keys to create opportunities for ourselves as artists, whether it's for the producer, whether it's for the MCs. You know, we all got the same goal. There's no point fighting against each other. It's like man playing cricket and man playing tennis. And man going, yeah, tennis is dead.
Yeah.
But you just play your cricket, you know?
Especially if you was playing tennis before. You know what I mean?
It gets like that, you know? It's like Michael Jordan, you know? My man played baseball. He weren't too good at it, you know? Yeah. Does that mean he's not a G? No, he's still a G, but you have to respect what our next man's doing. Yeah? You have to respect what our next man's doing. Their team may not be as big as yours, but there's no need to look down on it. And I think I'm not talking about H no more. Yeah. H said what he said. He's allowed to say what he said. I think what's happened is the overall view of the public is that, them grime man, they ain't getting millions of views. They ain't getting millions of streams. So their thing must be dead. But then when someone in grime, like Stormzy announces Paul Pogba, which is one of the biggest in music overall, not just in UK rap or black music or urban music, none of that. It's just in music. Yeah. One of the biggest things I've ever seen. Man announced the player for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Yeah. In the world. You know what I'm trying to say?
True, it's true.
And what's that? Does that mean that grime was the biggest thing at that time? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that another brother from the ends is winning. And this is what we need to focus on. I feel like it's the labels that have done this. The labels have... I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it's easier to sell something when people think something's whack. So it's like, I've got 2 sandwiches. Now I'm trying to shop this one cheese sandwich. Yeah? But this egg sandwich is doing its thing. So you know what? I'm going to say that egg is off date. Yeah. So everyone can come get my cheese thing, innit? And I'm a fat brother, because you know I'm fat because I have to do a food analogy.
I get that, man. It's so interesting, honestly, from my perspective as well, yeah. It's just super interesting, because even where radio is at the minute, it's like we follow the people, innit? So we just got to follow the people. And it's like there's this big cycle of the industry, the audience, the radio, the artist, and it's like, where does it start? So if the industry sees something's popping, they're going to pick up a lot of that popping thing, and then by default, the top best is going to rise to the top, and what they're pushing is what's going to come out. So I might not say they do it on purpose, but by default, like some people say they do it on purpose, but by default, that's what it's going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, they're doing what they have to do to make money, innit?
It's all money, fam. Do you know what I mean? That's how it goes. Who are you feeling, though, music-wise at the minute?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think there's so many people that are killing it right now. I really like what Unknown T's doing.
Yeah.
Unknown T's smashing it. There's a young youth in Grime called SBK. He's been spitting since he was 13.
Wow.
And he is going ham right now. He used to live in Stevenage, moved out to London, and he's just gone crazy. My brother Crafty 893. He's a youth that I'm working with. Absolutely. He produced my last single, Move Right.
Okay.
With Drizzlick.
How do you pronounce
Drizzlick? Yeah, there we go. He produced that, and he's a grime MC.
Okay.
But he was able to produce like an Afro beats kind of sound, and he's very versatile. In terms of not coming up, but people just overall, I'm definitely feeling Huncho. Huncho's someone that I've been respecting for a long time. Who else can I throw in there, man? Yeah, I think those are the youths that come to my head straight away. Those are the people that come to my head. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, that is fair. That is fair. I wanted to do something interesting with you, yeah? Basically, you got to finish my sentence.
All right, go on.
Yeah? Are you ready?
Yeah.
You can't roll with me if...
Ooh, that's techie.
Yeah.
You got no blems.
You got
no cigarettes. Can't roll with me if you ain't got no cigarettes.
Yeah. Say no
Just
more.
asking man for a blem all the time. Hey, bro, can I get a cigarette? No, man. Lie, man. Man's grown up. We're not little kids anymore, man. Lie, bro.
All right, next one. The music industry is...
a game.
Okay.
It's a game that we play. And some people win and some people lose.
If I were Prime Minister, the first 3 things I would do are...
make more youth clubs.
Facts.
Yeah. More access to the creative industry. And more grants for young people that are coming up, man.
Say no more. Cool. Well, I got a tricky one for you. You ready? The best grime MC I've witnessed is... I've witnessed. So you've seen with your own eyes, or you've been in the studio?
Witnessed?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's probably D-Double.
D-Double, yeah?
And not even studio, just in a rave.
Okay.
In the rave, he's the master. You know, he is the controller. There's no one that can beat him. Yep. No one can beat him. No way.
Ooh, yeah, no, it's true. I was about to say Kano, but when I spoke to Kano said he looked to D-Double, so...
What can you do?
Yeah, facts. My favourite thing in the world is...
food.
Straight up.
I love food. Yeah. I'm fat. It goes with the fatness. Food got me a TV program, bruv. It's crazy. Mad.
It's crazy. Guys, by the way, if you got questions, ask in the question box as well. Gonna be getting to that. If you've got any questions, in the question box. When it goes in the comments, I miss it sometimes. All right, last one, yeah? Success is... or in my eyes, success is...
It's earned, not given.
Okay. What do you
mean? You gotta earn that. You gotta earn that. You gotta earn it. You gotta put in the work.
Facts.
I've been grinding for like 6 years. And the thing with musicians and stuff, they always say, I've been putting in that work. I've been putting in that grind. We all love saying that. Like, man, do these deep tweets every other day, like, putting 7 days of grind, no sleep. Like, this is what bare musicians and creative people do. Because it's one of those things you have to eat, sleep, breathe it. You have to say it's going to happen. You have to put it out there. It's something that you got to create. You can't wait for it to come to you. I can't wait for my single to blow. I just got to put out our next one. You know?
I hear you. When did that fact click for you? Like, when did you go from in the blocks with the man them writing bars, spitting to, you know what, I got to go find them. I got to go chase it. I got to go get it.
Do you know what? It was when the grime kind of hype started dying down.
Okay.
And people weren't locking into sets anymore, and things are kind of transitioning to online streaming, videos, big budget. Labels started paying for people's things, and we was there in the independent corner like,
yeah.
That's when I realized, let me not complain. Let me not sit there and moan and say I'm better than everyone, because that's what a lot of men do. They say I'm lyrically. That's the favorite word. I'm lyrically better than him. I'm lyrically better than that guy. I ain't talking about the Koji. Koji's been speaking about this stuff as well, you know?
Yeah.
Being underrated, the feeling of being underrated and stuff, it's something that you got to break through, bro. It's something that you got to work harder and you got to keep going. And that's when I realized I was complaining too much. I was waiting for too much. I just realized I just got to go. I just got to keep pushing, keep making music, go to the studio more, write more bars, do more videos, do more content. And that's why I'm at a place now where I'm doing so much. It's like, people talk to me, they're like, right, you going in? And I'm like, bruv, I ain't even started.
Yeah. You know? This is just like, this is the benchmark norm of the work rate you've created for yourself.
Hundreds.
That is so sick, man. And even with your music as well, I know you're someone that likes music with meaning.
Yeah,
and
for
even
sure.
in what you put out in that, like, why is that? In fact, why is that?
It links back to when I was doing youth work. So I was doing youth work, I went to uni, and I dropped out to pursue music. And I said to myself, if I'm going to pursue music, I got to at least keep some message in there, man. I can't drop out of becoming a youth worker. I was going to become a qualified youth worker. I was in my second year. But because I dropped out, I said to myself, cool, if I'm not going to do this, let me at least dedicate my art and my craft towards helping young people. And I feel like I've been able to do that, man, you know?
Yeah. That's a good... I didn't even know that was the pattern. I didn't know.
Man, that's why.
That is sick.
It's like I owe myself. And it also keeps me grounded because what it does is that I know I dropped out to do this for a reason. So as soon as I start straying away, and that's when things don't go right for me because it's like I'm straying away from what I was here to do. Obviously, don't get me wrong. Music is about fun and vibes. But, you know, hip-hop, rap, if you go back to America and where it started, it was a political art form to kind of combat what was going on, the injustices that were put on us throughout the system. So
and then to empower as well. Like, all the best albums that we listen to are the albums that have spoken to the times, if that makes sense. And that's why artists last the test of time as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, Tupac Changes, that song will forever play.
Forever.
You know?
Forever, man.
Forever play. But then also, like, there are people that are meant to make good times music as well. There's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly. You don't have to have depth in everything you do because music comes and goes. It's 3 minutes at the end of the day. You know, it's a vibe. It's on to the next vibe. You understand? So there's people like Nas, you know, and there's people like Quavo, you know. It's some days you might wake up and put on some Nas. Some days you might wake up, put on some Quavo. You know, it's just about your vibe. But I definitely feel like we need our Nases of our generation. We need our people like Koji Radical in the game.
100%.
You know, we need our people that have depth. People like Dave. You know, you understand? People like Little Sims. Yeah, let me not forget the women that are standing up for serious things. People like Ray Black. You understand? These kind of people that are talking facts in the game. You know, we got to hail them up. But all my vibe makers, all my people like Young Ads, them kind of man there, Nate Smalls, you know.
We
have to respect what they do. You need it all. You need the balance.
We need it all, man. Is there anyone you haven't worked with that you like to work with?
UK in the UK?
Yeah.
I think Nate Smalls is someone definitely that I love to make music with.
Yeah.
I've linked up with him before. Like, we both performed at Chips tour.
Okay.
And every time I see him, it's love. But never had that conversation with him, man. I've never really reached out. So he's definitely someone that I would love to work with, man.
Yeah. You said independent, so it's straight independent still.
We're there, man. We're there. I'm in the process right now. I'm in the process.
Okay.
I'm in the process of getting some things lined up, you know.
All right.
We're not gonna speak too much still. Just know, I'm with my label.
Okay. So it's that way. That's sick, man.
Brucey knows the way, man.
How'd you find the industry? Like, what's been your experience of the industry side of music? Like you said, it's a game.
I've not been approached for a lot of things, man. Obviously now things have picked up and I'm having conversations, the doors are opening. But in my long time of being in the music industry, I was always doing stuff in terms I was never getting signed for that single or offered this or this publishing. I've always just been a guy that's just like, I started from SoundCloud links, bro. You know? And then I just got my little distribution pattern and started uploading my music onto Apple Music and stuff. I used only up until like last 2 years, I used to email all my music to all the DJs.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So the industry was always something that was spoken about around me, and I always used to look at it like, you don't need that. I could just get fans. But then I've seen people that have come up through the industry become very successful. So I can understand the machine.
Yeah.
It is a machine.
It is a machine.
And sometimes you stray away from the machine, that machine will make you feel this small, you know? And that's where it goes back to what I said, where I realized, let me stop complaining. Let me just go harder. Yeah. Because there was times I used to look at the machine and be like, why don't I get that back in? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that?
Yeah.
But if I never pursued it, why would I get it? You know? So it was one of those things.
Then I realized, like, sometimes the things that we complain about, we don't even want it really and truly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's only because it looks good.
Yeah. Facts. Honestly, it's so interesting from my perspective as well, because like, for me, the machine has to work for me to be able to draw for them tracks that not everyone's looking at, if that makes sense. Because if the machine weren't working for me, then I would have to draw for all of the bigger like tracks and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, for sure.
So it's so 100%. Interesting. Definitely interesting. Let's talk about the show some more, though.
Yeah.
This Dave show is one of like the perfect blends between music, comedy, and food. I don't think we've seen it. Have we seen it? I don't think we've seen it. Food,
I don't know, man. I don't know about a grime MC that cooks for comedians on tour. I don't know about that one still.
What's been some of the best moments, like the whole process? What was some of like the proper new stuff you learned? Full stop. You never had no experience.
Just filming. Filming television is a new world. Yeah. New entire world. Cooking on camera, interviewing people. Luckily enough, I was working on one extra. I was making food bits of content. Yeah. So I kind of understood those kind of things. But filming television, whole new world, man. It's not what you see on the screen. It's not what you see. You know, there's a lot of production behind it. There's a lot of people working, a lot of things going on. And it takes a lot of hours, bro, to make that 30 minutes of content. It takes, man, 2-3 days of filming.
Honestly.
So it's something that I kind of respected. You know, at the end of a TV program, you see all them names.
Credit. I bet you look at them properly now.
My G. I respect every name.
Yeah.
You know, I don't just care about the actor or the director. Yeah. I care about every single name, bro, because without that team, there is no show. There is no film. Whereas radio, music is very independent. You might have one producer, you might have one cameraman, you might have the one editor. You know, a lot of it, you have to do a lot of the work. Whereas in the TV world, you still got to work, but there's a lot of man.
So many people just keeping the stuff going, like even people there looking at continuity. So to make sure that you're wearing the same thing on one day to another day when you're shooting. Runners, like when you have that perspective of TV, it's so different, man. What did you enjoy the most from the series?
I think I was lucky to do the program with my two brothers, Tubbsy and Hyder. We went to secondary school together. So watching them kind of get into the industry and seeing their reaction when the thing launched. I've launched so much stuff. Like I've launched EPs, this, that, So I obviously it was a new feeling, people locking into my television program. But for them being on their phone, getting added, making a new Twitter, making Insta, just seeing how much they appreciated it, it kind of took me back to when I first got into the game and showed me that, you know, we're opening doors. I felt blessed to be able to open doors for two of my best friends. And hopefully they're going to be able to, you know, I see them man doing I'm a Celeb.
You see, you see. And this is the beautiful thing, because when I look at it, I'm like, this is the man them, but them having this position opens up a whole community. Like, people don't understand how many, like, even just inspiration for younger kids this is. Because, like, me, I've been watching TV growing up. So to see the man them on the TV, it weren't always like this, you know. Sometimes we'll get the odd one to go on a Jonathan Ross or, do you know what I mean? But it's just the man them. So it's sick. That's a very good thing to watch. I'm happy for them, man. I'm going to follow them
Thank
after.
you, man.
I'm going to follow
big
them
love,
after.
Big love.
So, favourite episode then?
It was probably with Rosie Jones when we went to Portsmouth.
Okay.
Never worked with Rosie Jones. Didn't really see her comedy from before that. A lot of the comedians I knew about them, but I never saw like them doing comedy or took them in like that. So linking with Rosie, I kind of saw how funny she is firsthand, and she appreciated the food. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, the comedians appreciated the food. Man's cooking a dinner after their tour, after a long day, but she definitely appreciated man chefing for her, bro.
You know, I think you was laughing the most in that episode as well.
Yeah, I was dying, bro. Dying. Literally, I was actually dying still.
That's it. Do you ever go to comedy shows before? Like, is this your first introduction to the comedy world?
Yeah. For sure. I might have gone to like a 1-2 something when I was younger or something. Nothing serious. Never gone to like a Kevin Hart. Never even gone to a Mo the Comedian. When Mo the Comedian was doing his tour, I knew people that went to that and they loved it. I was never drawn to it. Yeah. Now I've seen how amazing it is. Bro, you watch it on TV, you think, rah, that weren't that funny. Why are they laughing at that? Why is the crowd laughing like that? Like, they're forced. It's not forced.
Yeah.
When you're in a room and my brother's in front of you saying them jokes, it is funny, bro. It's funnier. Yeah. It feels funnier, you know?
I bet you'll go. You'll definitely go to a show now, innit?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
I think my favourite one was, who's that guy? Philly. What's his name? Oh,
Phil Wang. Phil Wang.
I thought he was funny.
Yeah, he's a joker still. He's got that dry humour, innit?
Yeah, that dry humor.
I made in the jollof. He was eating the jollof like there was no tomorrow, man.
Yeah. That's nice as well. Got Mumsy involved. How did you feel about it?
Yeah. Bro. My mum's like a very proud, strong Sierra Leonean woman, West African. Yeah. I raised my son. Yeah. Yes. I brought him here. I come from nothing for my son to be on the television. Yeah. Nah, she was, it was so cute, bro. Like, because she's normally louder than me, normally talks more than me. But when she saw the full camera crew, the director, the this, she was just like,
is it?
Yeah, she was shy, but you know what? They got her best moments in the program, and just sitting down watching it with her, she was gassed. She was talking throughout the whole thing, and me and my mum were just sitting there like, "Mum, we're on TV." Like, we're watching ourselves on national TV. Like me and you, like you come from Sierra Leone to England, and your son got you on TV. It's cooking jollof. Yeah. Cooking jollof.
Crazy.
On Dave. We're not supposed to be cooking jollof. We're not supposed to be. You don't see Jamie. If Jamie Oliver's making a jollof, man are gonna diss him. But we got the actual African mama on TV cooking jollof, and I was proud because I know my mom's friends watched it, and they was really proud to see her and her son having an actual moment for the world to see, bro. You know?
Yeah, no, I hear you as well. And one perspective for me that was really interesting. Yeah, it's like a lot of our parents, especially our parents that have come over, settled in that. They've had to do what they've had to do for us, but they got personality as well. Because your mom's got personality. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine given the right opportunity, but others had to do what they had to do. Do you know?
Yeah.
So that was
Look at Jamal Edwards. Look at Jamal Edwards. His mum's on Loose Women. Yeah. You know, she's taking it into her stride, and that was all from her son starting a YouTube channel. So, you know, our parents, they obviously, a lot of them must look at the social media stuff and be like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. But then if they had the one step into it, they'd be able to take over, you know? So it's,
honestly.
Yeah. It's one of those things, man.
Same way my mum and dad, every interview I do, please believe they've gone to research the artist. They're listening to the
Of course.
It's so crazy.
Because the support, you know what thing about African parents is, at first they can be skeptical because, you know, it's they want their children to go down a typical route, a kind of like more financially stable route. But once they realize that you're enjoying yourself and what you're doing is groundbreaking and you're working with young creative people that might come from the same background, they kind of delve themselves into it. Like my mum is probably watching this live in the living room. You know?
My mum got Insta to watch it. I started.
We got the mumsies. Do you know what the mumsies?
That's sick as well, man. Before you go quick, I find like you're someone that's got a good perspective. Like you understand the whole social aspect of life as well. So what's your thoughts and opinions on Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on right now? Yeah, well,
like I said, we kind of touched on the aspirations of young people in school, and that definitely comes down to Black Lives Matter. I think they say charity begins at home. And I want the changes to come from the outside, of course. I want people to realize their influence and how much power they have over other people regarding race. My main thing is that we need to rise up. We need to stand up. We need to start looking at ourselves and say, have I volunteered? Have I given back to my community? Now, I'm not trying to put man on the spot. No one. I'm not trying to make anyone watching this feel like, oh, this bear thinks he's better than man, or this bear. Nah, I don't want to do that to you. I just want man to realize, do you know where your local youth club is? If not, search that, find out when this whole corona thing's over. Go volunteer one day. Go see how you can help, how you can, like, obviously don't go in the 20% battery is doing it, trying to ruin my point. Yeah, I was going into a little speech, man. But basically, my main point is us as black people, we are in a place where we definitely need these institutions and systems to flip up, give more opportunities to us, and change the way the game sees us. But at the same time, I believe that we need to rise up together.
Yeah.
It's like the MOBOs. What were the MOBOs created to do? To celebrate black music.
Yeah.
What was we supposed to wait for the white people to start celebrating the black music? Nah, we couldn't do that. Because now it's only now people like the Brits and stuff are trying to invest in the music and letting certain man perform and nominating this brother for that. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade at them, man. But it's the change. The change has to start from within. And once we are able to rise up together, they'll have no choice but to respect man's thing. Right now, I feel like a lot of these institutions and systems have got a gun at their head telling them, you got to diversify. You got to start paying black people. You got to start respecting black women, which, don't get me wrong, I'd rather you have that at your head making you make a change than nothing. I'd rather that. But what I would much rather is if we didn't even need you and we just did it on our own. And it's going to take a long time. That is me talking 10 years ahead. That's me talking in the future. Right now, where we are is we got to keep going, keep opening our mouths, keep making noise, keep making it make a difference. But for me, it's about when we start investing in ourselves, when we start realizing, what am I doing to uplift the black people in my area? What am I doing to give opportunities to the black women in my area, to the young black boys in my area? What can I do to change the mindset of people that are aspiring low, people that are not wanting to create themselves to become higher than what they're worth? Because black people, black boys are not supposed to just be athletes and that's it. You man just do sports. And if you're not good at sports, I don't know what you're going to do. Black women are not supposed to be considered loud and over the top and your hair is crazy. So how are we going to, but then when a white woman wants to put her hair in braids and wants to be obnoxious and loud, she's sassy and she's got swag and sauce and style. How are we going to break that down? How are we going to break down these barriers? Yeah. We're going to have to do some serious things. And man are protesting and it's kicking down the doors. Like I'm seeing protests in Syria, in South Korea. I'm seeing people that are not black protest for black people because they're starting to realize, if I don't say anything, I'm part of the problem. But like I said, this is something I can talk about forever. I just feel that we're getting there. It's changing. The change is going to take a long time. But there's an interesting documentary on Channel 4 about a primary school and if they're racist or not. For that. So you've seen the advert? It came out and stuff. Yeah, so go check that out, and you'll see racism is installed by the parents. Yeah, that is 100%. But the media has a big input on it. Yeah, and if we could change the narrative from the within, the media will eventually follow. Because right now the media are following. The media are following. They know what they've been doing for a long time. They know how they've been putting down the image of black people online. They know how they've created this narrative about black women within the media industry about certain things. Now, this ain't. I'm not trying to go too deep. I'm just trying to say, like, we gotta know that there's power in the people, and that's what a lot of my music says. That last year, I put out a project called "We Will Walk," which is about people walking forward, and the main single was a song called "The Struggle," talking about a young boy going to school and being given positive affirmation and being negative affirmation and where that led to. And the more we speak on it, the more change will come, bro.
No, 100%, man. And I knew you would be perfect to break it down because I feel like you're well versed. You know how to communicate that, if that makes sense. And like, everyone's linked up now with the protests and stuff. And the good thing about that is that has been a unity that you talk about. But my fear is, okay, once that dies down, what are we doing next? And a lot of people are pulling in different directions. So like the starter points that you give are a good place for people to start, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Real good place.
Yeah, man.
Let me get into the questions. I got questions from everyone on the live. Let me see. Will he tour the African and Caribbean continents?
I'm coming to Sierra Leone in December. 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. Coming to Sierra Leone in December. The Caribbean, when they're ready to have me, I'm there, man. When this Corona's done, listen, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, St. Lucia, wherever it is, I'm there, man.
Say no more. Do Sierra Leoneans have the best jollof?
Yes. I'm
sure?
not going to argue with you. Rob.
Are you
Come
sure?
on, my Ghanaian brothers, you not do all right. But Salon, we're a small country, so people don't know too much, you know?
It's true. What's your opinion on Sierra Leoneans making moves in the scene?
We're getting there. They have playlisted Move Right with me and Drizzlick on MTV Base.
Nice.
And the Salon man were going crazy. They're like, MTV, we don't make that. And I'm like, yeah, this is the news. Like, so we just got to do more collabs, more highlighting of the scene, more stuff like that, and we'll get there, man.
That's it. I think growing up, I went to more Sierra Leonean parties than I did Ghanaian parties because of my best friend. Yeah. So I'm very passionate about Sierra Leone, fam.
I love that.
Let me see. Who do you want to drop a track with?
I mean, we said Nate Smalls, but I also want to work with Huncho, man. Me and Huncho have been talking about getting stuff done for time, man. Either Huncho or JK.
Okay. Oh, you and JK haven't got one yet?
We ain't got nothing there, man. It's loading. You might need to go at JK and tell him, yo, you and Zuu need to hurry up, man.
Yeah, no. That's not right. That's not right.
Trust me.
Someone texted me before, if you can drop one player from the Liverpool first team, who would it be? Hard one. I'll put you on the spot there.
Lovren, you got to go.
Ooh.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of a liability. I was like,
yeah, man.
Who's your favorite director? Oh no, I don't get that. Someone said, "Who's your favorite director?" But I don't understand.
You're random.
How would we know when we've done enough? I think that's on Black Lives Matter.
How will we know when it's not spoken about anymore? When it's a normality. As soon as it's a normality, we've done enough. You know? That's it.
Who are you inspired by when it comes to grime? You said D-Double. Who else?
D-Double, Jamie, Skepta, Chip, Kano. Those are the kind of people. The GOATs, man. The GOATs.
Yeah. How do you balance everything now with TV and music?
Oh, I work a lot. I can't lie. Not a lot of rest. Taking a break in the next few weeks. My manager hit me today. He was like, do you want to take a break? And I'm like, yes. And it's jokes because man works on my own schedule, do my own stuff. I don't really think about, should I take off that Sunday? Should I take off that Saturday?
Yeah.
It's just, let's go, because we got to go. We can't stop. We got to keep getting it.
100%.
And yeah, I think that's one of the main things for me is taking a break and just making sure that I'm able to process what's going on.
It gets like,
so I don't get lost in the sauce.
Oh yeah, true. You can dabble in the sauce a little bit because you deserve it, as long as you don't get too lost.
For sure.
I realized I took a week off last week, and I look back, I was like, I haven't taken a week off since this time last year. And you know when you're in this industry, that's how it gets. Like, you got to strike while it's hot, innit?
Trust.
Have you had any talks about season 2?
That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say, woo! That's what I'm gonna say. It's en route, man. It's en route. Let's just say it's en route. Hopefully. You lot pray for me. You lot put some prayer hands together and pray for me.
Because even that developing stage, people don't understand. Like, you can get picked up, you can get developed, you can drop at the last hurdle.
Just because there's so many boxes you got to tick, and we're just trying to tick as many as possible. And
all of that. No, facts, man. Facts. What advice would you have for young creatives, whether it's music, TV, proof of concepts,
Don't watch too many people. Stop watching everyone. You got to watch people because you got to know what's going on. Don't get me wrong. Stay locked into the scene. Understand what's going on. But please, stop watching everyone, man.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do, man. Stop comparing yourself. Stop watching other people. Just focus on your thing. Keep pushing. And don't focus on the negativity. Negativity, it consumes you. I put out a Liverpool freestyle yesterday. I got Bear Man telling me, F Liverpool, forget this. Oh, your team's rubbish. But I got man saying, I don't even support Liverpool, and this is hard.
Yeah.
So what am I going to focus on? You hating on my thing or you hailing up my thing? And sometimes, you know, we're so used to reacting to the negativity before the positivity that we get lost and we allow anger take over. And I've done that before. And trust me, the more you suppress that, the more the positivity will shine.
Say no more. Big Zuu, everyone. Thank you very much, my bro. Thank you for jumping on. When you got information that you need sharing, send it our way. We'll get that done for you, man.
1,000,000%, bro. 1,000,000%, man.
Thank you very much, man. You're inspiring a lot, man. I appreciate it as well, yeah?
Big love,
Peace,
man.
My bro. Bye-bye.
Take care, my bro. Take care.
MOBO, Lowdown and Lockdown, another Friday down. Thank you very much for everyone that joined in. We had your one day and Big Zuu. Great conversations. I love these conversations that we're having, man. Hit me up, DM us. Who do you want us to talk to on the IG Live? I know we're coming out of lockdown soon. I think the Insta Live is going to cut again real soon, but we'll catch you all next week. Have a look on the YouTube as well. All the previous chats are on the YouTube as well. Thank you guys for locking in, man. Peace. Bye-bye.